Hello there, this is the Shadow Ranger. Gonna do a quick wrestling video. Um, gonna do my predictions for WWE Vengeance this Sunday, and gonna answer a question that I got sent to me from BlackRock316. First, I have a question. Can somebody tell me when this Ring of Honor show is supposed to get interesting? I said that I would watch the show for 2 months and then give my thoughts on it. And I gotta admit, it is a chore. This show is boring me to death. Now maybe it's that they're still trying to introduce more wrestlers, but it's a struggle to watch, really. I don't get why people like this show so much. I don't know. Maybe something's happening in the future that's going to be interesting. Anyway, got this question from BlackRock316. He asked me what my overall thoughts were on this week's Impact. Said, seems like a lot of people were unhappy that there was just way too much talking on the night after the biggest pay-per-view. Said some feel it was a waste of time, and my thoughts on James Storm as the world champion. Was it right or was it too soon? So here's what I'll say about this week's Impact. I really enjoyed watching the show. It had a lot of talking and promos, and normally I would say that it was a bad thing, but in this case, considering everything that went down, it's understandable. And if they do this next week, that'll probably be a problem. But there was a lot of storyline that need to be addressed. They had to wrap up storylines and start a bunch of new ones. So I actually didn't have a problem with there being a lot of talking, because I still enjoyed the show. I mean, it's something I wouldn't want to see every week, but with this week, considering how much they had to do, I mean, there's, if you just run down the show, hang on a second, let me find a quick recap for it online, and let's kind of like run it down real quick. I should have found that before I started recording. Sorry. I mean, the show started with, they turned Hulk Hogan heel, back to face. Dixie Carter put back in charge of the company. She's going to be pretty much off TV for a while. She made Sting the new sort of the authority figure, the director of authority, which is what I expected to happen. He made the world title match. What else did we have? Let me find it. Okay, here we go. Alright, so they had to establish the Hogan's face now. They set up the new main event. You had the women's tag match up there, so we got to see, they back on TV. That's good. We're seeing where they're going with that. They kicked off more of the Jeff Jarrett, Jeff Hardy feud. They had Robbie E. and Eric Young going to have a TV title match next week, and I want to see where they're going with that. They're setting up what's next for Abyss. Velvet Sky coming out. We got to find out, I'm wondering if they're going to leave Karen Jarrett in charge of the Knockouts. You think Dixie would get rid of her, but, that's something they need to explain. They did the stuff with her and Madison. They set up the return of Gail Kim, so that's setting up that new storyline. We had all the stuff with Hogan and Bischoff and Bischoff's son, Garrett Bischoff, aka Jackson James, who people say I heard people say, like, why are they putting this focus on a referee? Because he's gonna wrestle. If you don't see that coming, you must not have been paying attention. They made it a point in this episode for Eric Bischoff to rip open Jackson James' shirt and point at a tattoo. They didn't do that to point at a tattoo. They did that to show you his body, to show you that he's muscular, that he's ripped. The dude looks like $1 million. He is obviously going to be wrestling. So I didn't have a problem with it. They wrapped up some storylines and they start new ones. What's gonna happen with Bischoff and his son? Is Bischoff? I think they're probably gonna transition Bischoff to like a manager type role, where he's gonna still manage some of the guys in the Immortal group, and they're gonna feud with Garrett Bischoff. Velvet Sky is gonna be feuding with Gail Kim and Madison Rain now, and mainly Karen though. We still gotta set up what's next with the X Division title, the tag team titles. They gotta set up more stuff next week too. What's happening next with what's EY gonna do with the TV title in the future? What's next for Hogan? What are the Knockouts tag titles? They haven't gotten a lot of play. We need to get them get them in the spotlight a little bit more. They ended and started up a lot of new storylines on Impact this week, and for that reason, I don't have a problem with the fact that there wasn't much wrestling. So, for the people who want nothing but matches, the ROH type fans, yeah, I imagine they wouldn't like it, but those people could be watching Ring of Honor. They wouldn't have to worry. They shouldn't be complaining about TNA. They could watch Ring of Honor. What else do I want to say? Oh, James Storm is champion. I like James Storm. I mean, I was hoping Robert Roode would win it Bound for Glory, but I've always liked James Storm more. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with how anything went down. I enjoyed the Bound for Glory pay-per-view. I like that James Storm is champion now. I want to see where they go with it. I mean, I read the spoilers, so I know what's happening at the next Impact on the Road in Macon, Georgia. So we got to see what's happening at the Turning Point pay-per-view, where we go with that. Plenty of challenges to set up for James Storm. I'm wondering what's next with Matt Morgan. What's next for Crimson? I could see Matt Morgan and Crimson going against each other for a little bit. They're gonna do another one of those Jersey Shore people showing up on TNA. I don't know why. Half these people, honestly, something that happens with TNA, them trying to have celebrity involvement. I never know who any of the celebrities are until they show up on Impact. They always bring celebrities that I don't know who they are. Like when they brought the other JWoww and Angelina from Jersey Shore, I didn't know who they were until they showed up on Impact. So, but anyway, let me get back on topic. James Storm challengers. You of course you got Bobby Roode, you got AJ, Christopher Daniels is always a possibility. Crimson, I think Storm being the one to end Crimson's undefeated streak could be good. You got Pope is always a challenger. I don't know if they're gonna forget about that whole thing with Doug Williams, the Explosion Championship Challenge, which is supposed to be that he could face any champion. I have a feeling they may just forget about that and forget it and pretend it didn't happen. Because TNA's known to do that in some cases. I hope they don't. That could be a good TV match for James Storm to have. You got Matt Morgan as a challenger, Anderson, RVD, Samoa Joe on down the line. I mean, you got plenty of challengers. Same with Velvet. She's going to be facing Gail Kim first. You got Gail Kim she can face. Then you got Angelina. You got Winter. You got Madison. Her and Mickey James is always something you can do. Sarita and Rosita are both heels. There's a lot of heels. For Velvet to face. And I don't know what they're going to do with Jackie and ODB. They kind of had them clear the air with Velvet a couple months ago, so they might bring them back as faces. But you got plenty of options. So I think they got a whole lot of storyline potential. I might do a separate video another time talking about some potential for that. Because with Immortal being done, I mean, the group still exists, but the whole Immortal storyline is them being in control of the company is now over. So, that pretty much wrapped up the After Immortal series that I was doing. So, but in case I still want to throw out fancy booking ideas, I'm gonna try to think of a new name that I could do with that. What else do I want to say? But it's good to see Gail Kim back. That's always good. I've always been a fan of Gail Kim. I'm glad to see that she's back. I wonder if there's going to be any new people showing up. I hope this year that TNA can get a second show, because there's just so much more you can see that they want to do that they can't do just for time constraints, and that's a problem I'd like to see get solved. But that's all I'm going to say about TNA for right now. Let's go ahead and get to Vengeance. Some predictions for Vengeance here. Alright, we got Vengeance, Christian versus Sheamus. Sheamus always beats Christian, so I'm gonna pick Sheamus to win. I can't see him losing now, unless there's a lot of outside interference. Not too big on this match at all, but wait to see what happens here. Dolph Ziggler is going to be doing double duty. He and Jack Swagger will be teaming up to face Eric Boone for the tag team championships, and Dolph Ziggler will also have to defend his United States championship against Zack Ryder. I'm predicting that Dolph Ziggler leaves with gold. He's either going to leave still the U.S. champion or one half of the tag team champions. Whichever match comes first, if he loses one, he's keeping the other. So if the tag title match is first and they win the tag titles, he might leave with both or lose the U.S. title. But if they lose the tag titles, he's keeping the U.S. title. If he loses the U.S. title, they're winning the tag titles. Dolph Ziggler will leave with a championship when this is over. He might leave with two. I'm going to predict that I can't. I find it. I have a hard time seeing them losing both. I'm going to predict that Ziggler and Swagger win the tag team titles, and then immediately after Zack Ryder's music hits, and they have he has to defend the U.S. title immediately after, and Zack Ryder will be the new U.S. champion. So Swagger and Ziggler become tag team champions. Ryder becomes U.S. champion. Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. I am picking Cody Rhodes. It's been a pretty good story angle going so far. I can't see Rhodes winning. I think it does too much damage to him. I think Randy Orton doesn't need the win. I think it hurts Cody too much to lose, and it doesn't hurt Randy Orton to lose. So I'm going to pick Cody Rhodes. Beth Phoenix defending the Divas title against Eve. Beth Phoenix, no question. They spent too much time building up Beth Phoenix to win the title to have her lose it this soon. Triple H and CM Punk versus The Miz and R-Truth. I am going to pick Miz and Truth. I see miscommunication or outside interference costing CM Punk and Triple H this match. World Heavyweight Championship, Big Show versus Mark Henry. I'm picking Mark Henry. I think he tries to injure Big Show again, but Kane returns to stop him, and that'll set up Mark Henry versus Kane down the line. Either way, I can't see Mark Henry losing the world title just yet. And John Cena versus Alberto Del Rio, last man standing match for the WWE title. Somehow, some way, Del Rio will win. I don't know what. I think the last time John Cena lost a last man standing match, was when he got through the spotlight thing. Big Show slammed him through the spotlight in the match with Edge. So I don't think that's gonna happen. But somehow, some way, Del Rio will win. I'm not sure how though. Maybe The Rock will make an appearance and give Cena a rock bottom to finish him off. Who knows? But, yeah, that's all I'll say about this. So let me go ahead and wrap this video up. Those are my predictions for Vengeance, my thoughts on what's happening with TNA. I'm looking forward to see what happens next with TNA. A lot of new storylines coming that I want to see. A lot of feuds I'm looking forward to see. And, depending on the Vengeance pay-per-view, if I give a crap about anything that happens at the Vengeance pay-per-view, I'll come back and do a short review of Vengeance and where we go from here. That being said, this is the Shadow Ranger. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.